Hey everyone, I'm Avatar04 here to discuss something I've been holding back, a video that I've been wanting to do for several weeks now because we have the first trailer, or the teaser trailer for the live action version of Beauty and the Beast coming next March. And I at first was like, is there enough to do a full video? Because if you haven't seen, I ranked my top 10 Disney movies and Beauty and the Beast is number 1. It's actually my favorite movie of all time. And uh, obviously that means that I'm like over the moon about this upcoming movie. When I saw the announcement that there's going to be a trailer and also what happened today, which I'll get into a little bit, words cannot describe the anticipation that I have for this movie, and because it was my childhood movie and is still my number 1 movie, like I said, and I watch it time and time again, and I never get tired of it. And yeah, I'm just really excited to talk about the teaser that I saw. I should have recorded myself doing like a reaction to the teaser. I'm going to try to do that for more of the, because I'm going to start reviewing on my channel to give me some ideas, something that I'm this passionate about. Any footage that we get later on, like full trailers actually discussing like when we see the Beast and all the creatures and everything, all the characters like Lumiere, Cogsworth, all of them. I'll discuss them and like similarities, differences, what I think of the design overall, and all that stuff. And when we actually get some actual good footage to discuss. And also today I'll be discussing, because it just came out today, Emma Watson posted it, it's the first actual poster for the movie, and I'll discuss that, and which I freaked out a bit also. And also my expectations, which is mostly what I wanted to do, because there's so much I want to say about this movie. So yeah, let's get started. I'll try not to be too long-winded, but there's just a lot to say and a lot of excitement that I've been building up, and now I'm finally ready. I have my outline ready and everything. Okay, enough of me talking. Get to the meat of the video. As I said, I think Beauty and the Beast is the strongest Disney film. I actually think that it surpasses a lot of people hold really high, like The Lion King and everything. If you've seen my Disney video, I love it, but it's nowhere near like the level that a lot of people have, at least like top 3. It's not mine. It's like number 7, I think. For me, Beauty and the Beast has always been number 1. So I hold Beauty and the Beast really high, and I think I think it seems like they're really staying true to the original story, Beauty and the Beast, which I love. And because I'll just say right now, since it's starting out, the live-action Disney movies, although they've been pretty good, especially Cinderella, which I thought was really good, the first one, well, there was Alice in Wonderland, that didn't do too well overall, because they kind of went a weird route with it. They didn't, I mean, it's weird anyway, don't get me wrong, but it works more in animation. I don't know, the live action just, they made it even weirder and it just didn't work. Maleficent was good, but the major thing whenever I watch it that makes me so mad is that they really twisted the story, Sleeping Beauty, and like there's no defending it otherwise. I loved it the first time I watched it, and then after letting it sink in, I really don't like that Disney did that. But even though I enjoyed it as a Disney fan, that the content of it just made me mad on a rewatch that they messed it up. Because Sleeping Beauty is one of my favorites, honestly. Then there was Cinderella, which I thought nailed it because they went back. They added some stuff about her mom, which is fine. I don't care if they add stuff to make it more in depth and give more depth to the characters. I think that's tremendous if they do that. But overall, the story is exactly the same as the original animated movie that you know. So I like that they do that. I hope they go down the route with this, even though it seems like they are. Like, it seems like they're not taking any chances. They saw how Maleficent made people mad, even though people liked it overall. They said the same thing I did. They're like, they shouldn't have done that. And same in Cinderella, they kind of nailed it just because of that reason. They stayed true to the original, and I really hope they do that with this source material. Okay, getting to the teaser. First impressions, I think this is a perfect teaser trailer for what it is. Obviously, A teaser, it's a teaser trailer. If you don't know what that means, it's supposed to tease you. It's supposed to make you say like, is that it? I want more. Because before this, for some reason, this more than any other movie that I've seen, maybe it's just to like stress me out because this is like my most anticipated movie ever, and the fact that for a while they've been in production for a while, like for probably 2 years. We've heard about this, but nothing like they've even finished filming. They finished filming back like to late like 2015, I think. And I saw that tweet. It's like, and we still haven't seen anything. But when I think about it, most of the characters have to be drawn in and CGI and everything. Really, the only main characters that are actually human are the Beast when he turns into a human. Same with the other characters, but mostly it's Belle and Gaston. So when you think about it, they have to animate all that stuff, so obviously that takes some time, and that obviously will lead to why we didn't see any of that in the trailer, I think. But yeah, I think it's a perfect teaser trailer because the worst teaser trailer I've ever seen. A lot of times they normally show a little bit of footage. It's kind of long actually for a teaser trailer. It was like a minute and 30 seconds. And a lot of times they stay under a minute, and because like I said, it's just supposed to tease you. And normally it doesn't get into the story. You just kind of get the gist. You see some characters, some dialogue, some footage, and it's just done. And with this, just as a Beauty and the Beast fan, a massive fan like myself, I thought it was perfect. When I saw this and they aired it during Good Morning America, and I just freaked out. I lost it. I was watching it, and I couldn't sit down. I was just like, and then later on, when I think it's over, because mostly the first half of this teaser trailer, majority of it, is just them playing the music, which was stellar. I love that. They played the prologue music, and it sounded exactly the same. We see the Beast Castle in full for the new Disney logo, which looks great. Right away, I was like, wow. But yeah, half of it is just set like still images, but it's playing during the music, and obviously, like I said, they don't have much footage. They don't have much animation done, probably, because that takes forever. And I was like, okay, they're just going to show this and it'll be done. And then when it seems it's done, you actually hear dialogue of Lumiere and Cogsworth speaking, and then Belle says hello, and you actually see footage of her walking up to the rose, and I just lost it at that point. And then obviously that's all you get. But yeah, that was my overall first impressions. Now I'll go shot by shot, kind of going through and giving my input on all the scenes. So I'd like to say also, there's several videos, if you haven't seen it, in the original 1991 teaser trailer for the animated movie. It's like basically shot by shot. They had to have done that intentionally, which I really like that they thought to do that. I thought that was really neat when I figured that out. It's paralleled exactly. There's several side if you just look that up, comparisons of the 1991 and 2017 Beauty and the Beast trailer. The animated one is just like that. A little bit more footage, but you know, whatever. But overall, it's exactly the same shot by shot, which I thought was neat. So anyways, I'm sorry it's taking me so long. I'm finally talking about the trailer. The Disney logo with the Beast Castle is snowing. It's a wide shot of the castle, and I was just, right away, I was losing it. Thoughts on the castle design? It looks really cool. It does, like, look completely different than the animated version, which I'm okay with, because as much as I love the original one, they need to they can't just make a shot by shot just live action version, because it normally doesn't look like that. In animation you can make anything, and sometimes going to live action, like, well, we obviously can't do that, so they had to find a set in a real castle, and like for some, like the exterior at least, some of the stuff was built on set, obviously at a studio, but they had to find an actual castle. I think they actually shot in an actual castle, so obviously there's not one exactly like that. So, but overall, it looks really cool, and like I said, we don't see that much of it. We just see the exterior, and some shots of the interior, but so we don't really have that good of an idea. But at a first glance, I'm like, okay, it's nowhere near the original, but like I said, that's understandable, and let's move on because I like the castle. It does have a neat architectural vibe. It's kind of, I watched another shot by shot video, and she said it kind of looks like a rose, especially a close up of Belle walking in, and I actually think that's true. It looks like it's a swirling rose in the design, which I think was a nice little touch that they added there to the design. And after that, you see a wide shot of the castle. Once again, it looks like a lot of people have said this just because Emma Watson's in it. They said it looks like Hogwarts, and it kind of does, which is kind of, I'm like, did they do that? But anyways, if they did, that'd be awesome. I love that. But yeah, it does kind of look like Hogwarts, yes. Then the intro or prologue music starts from the original, and it's exactly the same, and that's the moment when it made me, when I lost it. The first scene of the interior we see is the ballroom, and I'm guessing, unless they have another ballroom, this is where the big Beauty and the Beast number will take place, where Belle and Beast have their first dance in their like ball gown, and the Beast is dressed up, and they, that iconic scene, which you have to have because that's the basis of the movie. And comparing it, once again, it looks completely different, which is understandable. And so yeah, there's not much to say because once again we just got this one shot of it. There's like a piano on the floor, chandeliers are lowered, but yeah, it looks grand. It looks, they could easily make that the stellar scene that we see, just a different version of it, and it looks awesome. The next is the room with the balcony doors. We just basically just see the floor. It looks like a dresser, which could be the dresser. It could be Belle's room, and it has balcony doors, and you see the doors open, and the wind's blowing in leaves and stuff. And yeah, that's the most, like, I have the least to say about that because we just basically see the floor and the balcony doors open, blowing leaves. The next is the hallway shot, and I really like how they do it in the trailer, how it shows that time's passing, like the 10 years, or I think it's 10 years, yeah, that the curse was under the castle and all who lived there. They showed, it was like a time lapse of where the castle was really well taken care of, and then after the curse happened, obviously they weren't human, so they really couldn't do that anymore, and they kind of like let it go. And as you can see in the movie, it kind of turned dark and creepy and gloomy, and the stone started to crack, and you see webs spinning, like spiders obviously making webs and giving it the creepy vibe. So yeah, I just thought that was awesome. The lights started to go out and get darker. So yeah, I thought that was a neat touch to show that instead of just interior shots, it showed it gradually time passing and how it gets, people don't take care of it anymore. And then you see it looks, I don't know what this is, it looks kind of like an office. You see a chandelier close up with all the candles, and once again time's passing, so all the candles melt down. And then you zoom in on, like, it might be the Beast study, because there is like a little desk thing, and then it shows another shot where there's like this desk, and above it is the famous portrait of the prince, which this time is younger than what is seen in the movie. Once again, that's just an artistic choice. I don't have anything against that, just so they're not changing the story. Obviously, all this stuff, it's not, the animated version's not real, so they have to just kind of, go with some things. Like, some people get really mad about, like, if they change anything. I'm not like that. I don't want it to be shot by shot. I want it to be different, just so they don't pull a Maleficent. That's what I'm saying. So just keep the story intact, and I'll be fine with all this visual stuff. And then you see the portrait, and then you see the famous slashing across the prince's face that you see, and you hear a beast growl. And I'll stop right there to go back, and the scenery and interior, this is what I want to say, it looks stunning. Like the castle, I don't know if all that stuff was in the castle that they shot at, or if some of that was added. Obviously the portrait was, because that has to do with the story, but the actual ballroom and everything, that might actually be a real room. and the sets and everything looks stunning. Like, I think it's set in like the Renaissance kind of in France, and you get that vibe from the interior design of it, the look of it, and I think they pulled it off really, really well, choosing the location. So you hear the beast growl, then the portrait slashes, gets slashed up, and this is when it started to pick up. Like, oh my gosh, we're actually getting footage. And then you hear a door creaking and opening, and you know that it's Belle. You don't actually see Belle. Obviously, I didn't think we'd actually see Belle, like the full, outfit and everything. Then it just cuts to black, and you hear the exact dialogue from the movie, which is one thing I really like, that they kept the scene exactly how it is, which I hope they do with a lot more, which I think they will. Lumiere and Cogsworth speaking in the dark. I think it's like, I watched the movie so much, let me see if I can memorize the line. It's like, Lumiere says, "Look, a girl," and Cogsworth says, "I know it's a girl," or "I can see it's a girl, you fool." And he's like, "What if she is the one?" Yeah, that dialogue right there. And then it cuts to black again. From an exterior shot of Belle walking in, you see the door opening, and then it cuts to black, and you hear Emma Watson as Belle saying hello, and it echoes, which makes it really dramatic and creepy, and it's awesome. And then you think it's over because they zoom out of the rose, and I was like, okay, it's over. They're gonna show the rose and like a petal falling, and then it'll just say something like that, But then you see the rose zooming out, and then you actually see someone walking up to it, and then you see Belle's face like touching the rose, which resembles when she like goes into the West Wing for the first time and the beast scares her off. That scene, and man, I lost it when she lost it, because I would have bet that we would not have seen her in this trailer, because I thought they were just gonna pull a Cinderella and just show like they showed the shoe. I thought it was just gonna do the same thing with the rose. But we actually saw sets and good footage and dialogue, and actually saw Belle. I was over the moon. So yeah, talking about the rose, which I'll get into now, with the, I'll talk about a little bit more with the poster that we saw, because it's just the rose, if you haven't seen it. It's surprisingly, you know how in the movie it's kind of floating and there's like special effects, it's like turning and like glowing in the dark. I figured that that would have to be CG, obviously, and they would just make it look like that, where it's kind of glowing and floating, but they didn't. It's just a rose, and I just thought that was a neat choice, because I thought they would go all out like the glowing and everything, especially the glowing part. Maybe it only glows when like a petal falls off. That could be a neat artistic choice, but yeah, it looks so real, like the rose, which actually makes it look more realistic and beautiful. So I actually like that choice. It was just kind of took me by surprise, because I just thought they were going to go all the way. But yeah. Belle walks up to it, and then it just says, "Be our guest," and then 3/17/17, I'll be there. So yeah, closing thoughts. I thought this was the perfect teaser trailer. A lot more than I expected, which I'm like over the moon about. So yeah, I still watch reactions to it. I just love it. I can't wait. It gets me built up every single time I watch it. And now I'll talk about the poster, which I can't pull up right now. I don't have anything to pull up. I should have thought about that. But if you haven't seen it, it's online. Just type in official Beauty and the Beast poster and go on like Google News and stuff. All the news sites are tweeting it. Disney tweeted it. You'll find it and you'll know what it is. It's like a blue, frosty, snowy looking background with a table with the rose on it, and you actually see the full rose design and the glass above the rose. So yeah, like I said, the rose it's floating, but it's not glowing or anything like it is in the movie. It's just a rose, and the rose has all its petals, so I haven't started shedding yet. And it's just obviously front and center. It's a teaser poster, so it doesn't show any characters or anything obviously yet. It just has the beautiful background and the table, which once again resembles the West Wing in the actual animated movie. It looks just like it, which is awesome. They have like engraving on the glass outside of the rose, which I think is a really neat and artistic touch. This is what I like about like the sets. Like I said, they're so elaborate, and you really feel like it's from the 1700s or some France, which the movie's based off of. like with the detail and everything that you can't pull off in animation, they can pull it off here, which I think they're nailing already from what the little bit that we've seen. And the same with that, like it's not just the solid glass thing like the dome like the we see in the movie. It's an actual engraved, detailed like glass surrounding the rose, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, it looks just like the movie. I love the rose and how the design. I was just so happy when I saw that. I was like, finally, new phone wallpaper, because I've been waiting for a poster. I was like, come on. And then Emma Watson tweeted that, and I lost it this morning. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's really cool. Go on Emma Watson's Facebook or anything. Just type it in on Google and it'll pop up. Now that my fanboy, well, it's not over. My fanboy thing is mostly over. Talking about the footage and everything. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but yeah, I'll try to be brief with my expectations, since obviously, as you can see, I'm a fanboy and I have really high expectations for this movie. So yeah, the main thing is how, in comparison to the last few Disney live action ones, Maleficent was a big casting because obviously Angelina Jolie, that was a big deal. But this has like so many big names in the industry now. Like it has Emma Watson, obviously. It has Ian McKellen. It has I think is Ewan McGregor as Lumiere. Josh Gad, obviously from Olaf. He's been a lot of stuff, but I know him as Olaf because his voice just sounds like Olaf. Luke Evans and Dan Stevens as the Beast. So yeah, all of these people have actually I've at least heard of them, and I've done some research. But and also Emma Thompson. I know at least about them, which is neat. So yeah, they have a really big time cast, and I love that because it seems like this is like the big deal. Out of all their anime movies so far, they're going all out for this with getting this many like big names. Because I don't think Cinderella, I think that was her first like major role. So she was kind of new, but Emma Watson, obviously Harry Potter, she's like already a massive star. So yeah. The main thing I'm wondering and want to see, but like I said, animation takes forever. I understand that. I want to see what the Beast looks like and what all the objects looks like, specifically Lumiere, because I'm just curious how though all of these people, like this could really honestly, like I've seen other places, this could make or break this movie. I know I'll love it no matter what, but the design of these characters, you don't want it to seem weird because it's live action. In animation, you can pull off pretty much anything. But talking objects and moving objects, acting like they're walking, that can be kind of silly if you make it look like that in live action. And I don't want it to mess this up in any way for anyone. I want them to nail this. I want the Beast. Obviously, you've seen like the Jungle Book and everything, their new live action movie. That's another one I forgot to say. They nailed that one too, from what I've heard. And the look of it is stunning. All the animals, I think they can pull off the animal-human hybrid really easily, and that it will look good. The objects, though, that's completely CG, and it's just voice work that the other stars have done. And they're like major characters, especially Lumiere singing the big song "Be Our Guest," which is one, if not the biggest song from the movie. And they need to nail that scene, and especially that scene because, like I said, it's a major song from that movie. It's a Disney classic song, and it's my favorite song personally. And the scene just they need to pull it off. And all this like food flying and like them performing all the utensils and everything, the chandelier lowering and the table and the grand scheme of things. All the characters dancing and him flying up and floating on top of the wine that's spewing from the fountain. You know how it's so grand. I really hope that they pull that off, because that honestly will be like I said, I know I'll enjoy it no matter what. That scene personally will be when I'm like, if they nail it, I'll be like, okay, this is probably my favorite movie of all time, even more than the animated movie, just seeing it live action. If they don't, I'll be somewhat disappointed, and I really don't want to be disappointed. But yeah, like I said, the way those look, like, especially the items, like I said, in animation is so easy to pull off, but in live action you have to be kind of careful where it'll look silly. And I have no idea how they'll look, because obviously there's not walking like candles and stuff in this world. We just don't have the concept of that. So yeah, I just really hope that it doesn't look silly. The voice acting sounds really good from what we've heard so far, and the voice acting also needs to be nailed with these characters. And obviously, like I said, all the characters, the main like objects, sing sometime in the movie, especially the Beast. With all the growling and intensity in his voice, that needs to be recreated well. All the music and songs recreated, because it seems like, I know they brought back the original composer Alan Menken, which is a great choice, to write some new songs to give it a little twist, which I like. Just they don't mess anything up or mess with anything major. They're also bringing back obviously the classics from the original, and I'm pretty sure that means that it would just be like word for word. If they're bringing them back, I don't think they would change the words, because that would kind of disappoint me too, and that'd be kind of like, why? What was the point? But yeah, especially the main songs like Be Our Guest and Beauty and the Beast or Tale as Old as Time. And the opening song Belle, you need to like, especially those first two though, you need to keep them word for word, or I don't think it'll work with the fans' expectations and everything. But yeah, I have their trust. I mean, I trust them. I think they can pull this off and make it something incredible. Like I said, the Be Our Guest scene is a major thing. I had that as its own point, but I already talked about that, because that scene is basically all CG except for Belle at a table. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot. But most importantly, stay true to the original movie story, which it seems like they're really trying to do. Because more than ever before, like, the trailer broke records. It replaced Star Wars as the new Star Wars as the most watched teaser trailer of all time. And yeah, it seems more people are interested in this than with Cinderella or anything. Like, this is my childhood, I'll support it and all that. I've seen that from so many places, young and old, male, female. It seems like people are really backing this, and I think now more than ever, Disney knows to stay true to their original story from the criticism they received from Maleficent, and especially one that's getting this much buzz and hype around the internet and everything, and breaking that record. They want to stay true to it for the fans, and I don't think they're straying from it. So yeah, that's the main thing for me. And the special effects, those are the two main things that I think they need to pull off for this to be my favorite movie ever. So yeah, I hope I didn't babble or get lost in fanboy moments or anything. Yeah, I was really excited to talk about that. I really want a full trailer. Maybe it'll be at Comic-Con. Maybe see some actual footage. Maybe the Beast, like just some stills. That'd be awesome. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, so thanks for watching.